Hi, my name is Sean O'Donoghue and I manage the climate protection branch in eThekwini Municipality, or the city of Durban. And we focus on doing climate change adaptation work, specifically ecosystem and community-based adaptation, or as we call it, CEBA. We had a really powerful session at ICLEI's Resilient Cities Congress. We engage in regional hub partnerships, adaptation cities to exchange visits with each other, learning exchanges. And one of our exchange visits that we had as Durban was with Fort Lauderdale. And during this exchange, we learned how to use their compact model, which is a subnational partnership around a city like Durban, to extend the value of the learning exchange that you've had with another city. And so an example of an outcome from that could be to do a vulnerability plan that includes all the surrounding local municipalities around your municipality, so you get much more value for the exchange that you do. When we had our session now at the Congress around this whole approach that we've been using with Fort Lauderdale and Tanzania, one of the big questions that remained after a similar exchange with Tanzania was, how do we implement the compact model in Tanzania after all the local authorities in Tanzania said that they wanted to do it and they declared that they wanted to do it? Well, we had a focused discussion after the session, and we've come up with a plan to use Durban's hosting of ICLEI LOC's Congress to have a focused training session on how to operationalize a compact for the leaders of the compacts in Tanzania. There's going to be about 6 or 7 compacts throughout Tanzania, and those leaders will be trained in how to do it, and they will take that message and train their cities there. And so we've got a way forward with this problem of how to implement compacts in Tanzania, and we're also going to invite our South African metros to attend as well, so that they start their own compacts. So it's been a very, very productive morning. Well, first of all, this is focused on climate change adaptation. Most of our signatories in the Durban Adaptation Charter are from developing countries. They are very poorly resourced, and what they do have is they've got staff who are interested in doing the compact. They may not be well resourced and they may have very few staff, but what they have is a lot of interest and a need to do climate change adaptation. Now, compact really puts these people in touch with each other, so that they're not single people fighting alone, but they have got people that they can work with and collaborate with on projects in a subnational approach. So it's centered around cities that are actually leaders in adaptation, but it's still an exchange between these cities, because you have to work together to achieve this added adaptation response. There are a number of models that are very similar to this. I'm not saying it's better or worse than any of them, but it's an approach that works for us, so we're going with it.
So it's not just a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper, but as Fort Lauderdale have shown, it's a piece of paper that's had a lot of good outcomes. So, for example, with our COP, we've had a learning exchange already. We've had about 6 or 7 people going on the ICAD adaptation training course in Bangladesh, and we've had 3 or 4 meetings where we've engaged on issues together. And our compact members are busy getting approvals in their municipalities. We've got 3 or 4 of them, including Durban, who are approved. And during LOC's 2015, we're going to formally launch a compact. And so then it will go from being a piece of paper to a formal agreed piece of paper, but actioning it was the next step, and that's what we're working on now. Well, Durban is certainly going to be present in Paris because, as you know, our mayor, Councillor James Marlow, is one of ICLEI's first vice presidents. And so we will be representing as the Durban Adaptation Charter, but also our mayor in his capacity as a vice president. And we will be participating in the local government conventions, specifically talking about our partnership approach, this partnership of partnerships. When you've got compacts that are talking to each other, you've effectively got quite a wide network. So we'll be bringing that to the table, but also we are preparing our cities now, regardless of what happens in COP21. We hope there's going to be an agreement. We hope the agreement has sufficient ambition in it to reach the 2-degree ceiling and not exceed it. But regardless of what happens there, we need to make sure that our cities, especially in Africa, are working hard towards a low carbon development pathway and prioritizing adaptation so that if there's any reasonable amount of climate change, we can at least be prepared for it and adapt to it. Well, I think, we're working with some of the most poorly resourced countries in Africa and in Mozambique. We're doing exchanges with them as well. And one thing they have in abundance is the desire to do this work, and they are keen. We just need to find resources to help them to do it, to build capacity and to build the partnerships between them, because we find that partnerships and peer-to-peer learning is such a strong way of capacity building and getting people feeling and seeing is believing and getting them capacitated to do the work themselves and believing that they can do the work.